Thanks for joining us on Wave News Midday. I'm Jolles in for Shannon Kogan. Let's talk about that forecast this week, because if you went outside today, a little bit gloomy, and meteorologist Brian Good is telling me it's going to be like that for most of the week.
Yeah, and it kind of bookends by the clouds and the gloomy weather, but it's autumn, right? I mean, October. Yeah. Kind of supposed to feel this kind of gloominess.
I know. I don't hate it, honestly.
I don't either, especially on a Monday. It kind of fits the day of the week, so that's the plus side there. We just don't with this kind of weather on like a Saturday. That's when it's a bummer, right? But we are dealing with at least a cloudy sky, drizzle at times, a live look right now into New Albany. You can see the overcast sky has been with us past 3 or 4 days, really, and it'll take another 24 hours at the very least to break this up to allow for a better chance to get some sunshine back into the area. But again, that is a painfully slow process when you get stuck in these kind of weather systems like this. We got 52 degrees at Ollie International, 52 here at the studios, 48, several 48s, in fact, the eastern side of Jefferson County. And these really just haven't moved much in the past couple of days, and do not expect the numbers to move much at all for the next 24 hours just because of the cloudy sky outside. So there's just no way to really move them at all. So we'll stay chilly. 49 at Bardstown, 48 as you head into Campbellsville. Now the radar has been active, but this is very light. Off and on spotty drizzle, if you will, kind of drifting in. Notice the motion from the north heading to the south. That'll be the trend for the rest of the day as well. Looks like Louisville had a break briefly, but more drizzle is starting to break out across Clark County and the Hoosier National Forest, or the Clark County Forest, back toward the Hoosier National Forest. Actually, there is some light rain developing, not far from Crawford County. Some lighter rain across areas of Bullitt County down to the south. Again, this is just light enough to get the roads wet. So be careful. It's been leading to problems on travel today already, just from very light rain. This is attached to a bigger system across areas of New England, and you can see the colder air just kind of pouring from the Great Lakes right into our backyard. And it's even snowing right now in North Carolina. Wow, not here, but down to the south it is. We got some of that light rain holding steady. It looks like a dramatic warm-up this afternoon, but it's only 3 degrees from where we are now. But there is hope for a better middle of the week. I'll talk more about that here in just a few more minutes, Ward.
All right, thanks, Brian. The United Auto Workers strike continues this morning. Kentucky truck plant workers have only been on strike for a few days, but the entire UAW strike reached the 30-day mark this weekend. Here's a live look at the picket line right now. The Kentucky truck plant is huge, not just for the company, but for the state of Kentucky. Ford says it's now laying off 550 more people at plants in Michigan, Illinois, and Ohio. That brings Ford's total layoffs to about 2,500 since this strike started a month ago. Bill Ford made his first public remarks since negotiations began in an address this morning. In that statement, he called upon the company and the UAW to come back to the negotiation table, saying that the striking of the Kentucky truck plant will devastate local economies both in the long and short run.
Shutting down that plant harms tens of thousands of Americans right away, workers, suppliers, and dealers alike. It hurts the communities that depend on these local economies. If it continues, it will have a major impact on the American economy and devastate local communities. The supply base is very fragile and will start collapsing with an expanded strike.
Meantime, both candidates for Kentucky governor weighed in on the strike over the weekend.
We want the best wages and the best benefits for our families. We also need a strong company so they can employ more of our families. The only outcome that works is a win-win.
I want to see a swift resolution of this and certainly support the workers, and again want to see a swift resolution.
UAW says they'll continue to strike for as long as they have to for better wages and retirement benefits. Meantime, a short strike at 2 GM plants in Canada ended Tuesday after just 1 day. 4,000 auto workers in Ontario struck a new deal for a labor contract with General Motors. 80% of union members voted in favor of that plan, which has base wage hikes as well as improved pensions. That strike started last Monday and lasted only about 13 hours before reaching a tentative deal Tuesday afternoon. The standoff threatened to overturn operations at GM's plants in the U.S. that are dependent on transmissions and engines from Canadian facilities. Now to the Middle East, where Israel's military has told more than 1 million people to evacuate Gaza as the country inches closer to a ground invasion of the territory. It comes just over a week after Hamas launched its surprise attack on Israel. Israel's military said it plans to target underground Hamas hideouts around Gaza. UN experts are warning that Gaza is being strangled by Israel's week-long siege and aerial bombardment, and that further escalation and a lack of safety for fleeing civilians risks drawing regional foes into the conflict. About 500,000 residents have left northern Gaza for the south so far, and the Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 2,700 people have died there from Israeli airstrikes. Israel has vowed to wipe out Hamas, the militant group that controls the enclave, in response to its October 7th attacks that killed 1,400 people in Israel. Israel also said Monday at least 199 people are still being held hostage in Gaza. A Louisville man is imagining the worst after losing contact with his family living abroad in Gaza. Wave News reporter Brendan Spencer talked to him and shares his story.
Saleh Al-Farah says the past week has been the longest of his life. His wife and 4 kids, ranging from 8 to 14, moved to Gaza so his kids could go to a British international school there and learn more about their culture. Then, the attack started on October 7th. Al-Farah says he stayed in constant communication with his family, and then it went dark.
Then, 2-3 days later, I lost contact with them. I cannot know where they're at, how they're doing, and all that stuff because they cut the electricity, the water, the internet. They don't have any way of communication.
With the death tolls tallying more than 3,000 and increasing steadily as the days go on, Al-Farah is now wondering if his family is part of those numbers.
It's very terrifying because I look in each an individual body when they post it in TV channel, trying to verify which one is my family, which one is my kid.
Even when he's not consuming every update on the news, even small things like eating a meal make him feel guilty and questioning everything.
Are they okay? Are they alive? Are they eating? Sometimes when I eat, I don't want to eat because I'm like inside of me, like feeling like I'm eating and I don't know if my kid is still alive.
With bordering countries like Egypt closing off their borders to those evacuating Gaza, Al-Farah has reached out to state leaders, including Senator Mitch McConnell's office, for help to try to get some answers. The last resort for a man that feels helpless, he can't save them himself.
I can't. There is no way I can be able to get out there because it's not. Like, they don't let me in. I don't have any permission to get in or out, like to go get my kids.
A heartbreaking story, Brandon. Thank you. On top of the fear he has for his family's lives, Al-Farah also feels his Palestinian heritage doesn't help him here in the States. But for now, he's just holding on to hope that he will one day see his family again. We're also hearing from another Louisville man with family members in Gaza. Saim Abu Salim says his mom, brother, and sister, who all live in the city, have lived through several bombings already. They've now evacuated to what they hope will be a safer zone.
It's very tough for me these days, usually. I try to do as much as I can. I stay up late at night trying to catch up with my work. But it's very tough for me, it's very hard to concentrate and do everything. But you're feeling the pains of your family, your mom and your sisters and your brothers.
So far, the war has claimed the lives of more than 3,000 people. Coming up on Midday, a Palestinian boy in Illinois is dead after a possible hate crime. How President Biden is now responding.
And it's a busy week. A lot more festivals taking place. Everyone's getting a little bit closer to all their Halloween plans as well. He's trying to figure out what outfit to get. We've got the latest and that extended outlook for the entire 10 days coming up next. But first, there's the latest look at your Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Mega Millions at $69 million and the Powerball now at $34 million.